and we're seeing you after Eid, so I thought it's opportune to wish you the Eid Mubarak. Uh, Let me begin by the roundup of this week's activity. And I begin by Pakistan's efforts in response to the outbreak of violence and armed conflict in the Middle East and the Persian Gulf, which sadly now is in its fifth week. Pakistan has, ladies and gentlemen, actively engaged with the regional actors to de escalate the situation, cease hostilities, and move towards a peaceful settlement. Prime Minister of Pakistan, His Excellency Mr. Muhammad Shahbaz Sharif, spearheads our diplomatic efforts for negotiations and dialogue between relevant parties. The Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister, Senator Muhammad Ishaq Dar, has also engaged his counterparts in the region and beyond in this regard. Let me very briefly give you a roundup of these efforts in the course of last 1 week. Yesterday, the Prime Minister spoke with His Royal Highness Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. He strongly condemned the recent attacks on the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and reaffirmed Pakistan's firm support and steadfast solidarity to the kingdom in these challenging times. Appreciating the kingdom's restraint, the Prime Minister underscored the urgent need for de escalation and end to hostilities and unity within the Ummah. He also briefed the Crown Prince on Pakistan's diplomatic efforts to promote regional peace and stability, and both leaders agreed to maintain close coordination. 2 days earlier, on 23rd March, the Prime Minister spoke with the President of Iran, His Excellency Dr. Masoud Pezeshkian. The leaders discussed the grave situation in the Gulf region, emphasizing the urgent need for de escalation, dialogue, and diplomacy. The Prime Minister highlighted the importance of unity within the Ummah and reaffirmed Pakistan's commitment to playing a constructive role in advancing regional peace. Amongst other important conversations of the Prime Minister, on 18th March, he spoke with His Highness Sheikh Sabah Al Khalid Al Sabah, Crown Prince of Kuwait. On 19 March, with President Recep Tayyip Erdogan of the Republic of Turkey. On the same day, with His Majesty King Abdullah ibn al Hussein of Kingdom of Jordan. On 20th March, the Prime Minister had held 6 telephone conversations with the heads of states and governments, and these included President Ilham Aliyev of Azerbaijan, Prime Minister Datu Seri Anwar Ibrahim of Malaysia, with whom he spoke late yesterday as well, President Shaukat Mirziyoyev of Uzbekistan, President Abdul Fattah al-Sisi of Egypt, Prime Minister Tariq Rahman of Bangladesh, and Prime Minister Nawaz His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa of Bahrain, and later that day he spoke with Excellency undertook intense diplomatic engagement throughout this week. On 18th March, the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister visited Riyadh at the invitation of the Saudi Foreign Minister to attend a meeting of the regional foreign ministers. The meeting included ministers from Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Egypt, Jordan, Kuwait, Lebanon, Qatar, Syria, Turkey, and the UAE. I'm sure you must have gone through the press release that was issued by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, as well as the joint statement. Amongst important telephone conversations of the Prime Minister and Foreign Minister with his telephone call with his counterparts, let me briefly list. On 13 March with the Norwegian Foreign Minister Espen Barth, on 16th March with Saudi Foreign Minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan, The next day with Azerbaijan's Foreign Minister Ceyhun Bayarmov. On 18th March with Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan. On 22nd March with Egyptian Foreign Minister Dr. Badr Abdul Ateh. On 23rd March with Iraqi Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Fawad Hossein, and the same day with Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan. And the topic of discussion was, of course, this regional situation. On the same day, he spoke with Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. So 23rd March, you can notice these three telephone calls. On 24th, the Egyptian Foreign Minister again, Badr Abdul Ateh, the same day with UAE Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan. Later that evening with the EU High Representative and Vice President Kaya Kallas. And yesterday, the Deputy Prime Minister spoke with his Malaysian counterpart, Foreign Minister Muhammad Hassan. So this is the roundup of intense diplomatic engagement done at the level of the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister. Moving on to other topics, on March 15th, the world observed the International Day to Combat Islamophobia. You may recall that Pakistan played a key role with the OIC in securing the United Nations designation of 15th March as the International Day to Combat Islamophobia, and supported the appointment of a United Nations and OIC special envoys to address the challenges emanating from Islamophobia. And in his message on the occasion, the DPM-FM reaffirmed solidarity with the Muslims worldwide, highlighting the rise of Islamophobia globally, including attacks on mosques, women, and holy text. He stressed the need for international cooperation, dialogue, and respect to promote tolerance, prevent discrimination, and ensure peaceful coexistence. On an issue which is quite relevant to Islamophobia, Pakistan strongly condemned the continued closure of the historic Jama Masjid in Srinagar, noting that we noted that preventing worshippers from offering congregational prayers constitute a serious violation of religious freedoms and fundamental human rights. The Jama Masjid, historic Jama Masjid in Srinagar, remained closed for most of the Ramadan and during the Eid prayers. For the seventh consecutive year since the Indian illegal actions on 5th of August 2019, the Indian occupation authorities have sealed this mosque and barred Kashmiri Muslims from gathering on spiritually significant days. Such restrictions, particularly during Ramadan and on Eid, are a matter of deep concern. Pakistan has urged the international community, including the United Nations and relevant human rights organization, to take notice and call on India to uphold the fundamental right to freedom of religion in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. I'll conclude my opening remarks and open the floor for questions.